now streaming live. So, good afternoon and welcome after a long time. Yeah, I've been having major problems, mainly with my PC and a few others too. But basically today, thanks to Oliver from France, who basically introduced me to Steam controller settings, which I didn't even actually know existed. So thank you, Oliver. But basically, I'm having massive problems with my X360. I can't actually get mine to work because my computer is basically destroyed after a Windows update and my internet cutting off halfway through. So it's causing me major problems. Hence no videos, blah blah blah. And there goes the phone. 1 second, please. Yeah. The girlfriend calls right in the middle of streaming. Yeah, hi. Babe. I just started streaming live on YouTube, so say hi to YouTube. No, are you coming at 6 or? Okay, so I'll expect you in. Okay, so, well, just come when you come in. These people are just going to have to wait because I'm streaming this live and that's the way that live streaming goes. So don't worry about it. I have no clue because I've got major problems with my bloody system. I just want to throw it out the window. That's the way life goes. Okay, sweetheart, I will see you then. Yeah, that's fine. I'll see you then, yeah? I won't. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye. Valerie says bye to everyone. Right, sorry about that. Yeah, didn't expect that. I should have maybe texted her and said, I'm going to be live streaming now. Anywho, that's what happens in live streaming. I'm not going to cut it out. I'm just going to carry on. So basically, today's video is for those that have HS2 or 3, especially the HS3 with hydraulic brakes, which this is more to do with. But any system of mine that you've got, you can set it up on Steam as Steam controller, and it will basically work in any milestone game, any game that's on Steam, and automatically be recognised. Now, I've still got some other testing to do with games that are not on Steam and see if it's affected with them or not. Still in the early work in progress at the moment. I do have more work to do to make them better, but it's not the simplest of things to do to make a game think it's an Xbox controller, because it's not. So basically what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you the basics of plain and simply setting the system up and understanding what is really needed. Now, you really do, and I think everyone that's got one of my systems is using X360. You will want that to be able to actually adjust the rear brake so it's actually centered. And although it's a transducer, you can still actually do it because there's a cam on the rear brake that will allow you to do so. The last 2 systems that have gone out have actually got holes that enable that. Other systems you're just going to have to fight with your hands and actually turn the cam by hand, or you can drill it and then fit the screw. For now, this is a basic one, and mainly for high-tech simulation park over in Spain, because they really need to be able to get their system set up, and they've got the latest ones. So this is more for them in many ways personally, but it is for everyone. Okay, so first point, you've got your HS system, what you're going to want to do is configure it in Windows as you normally do. But the one difference is when you configure the rear brake, when you're calibrating the system, it's really simple. Instead of putting a lot of pressure on the rear brake, you just want to put a very small amount. It's really that simple. You use your hand and just very small amount of pressure on the rear brake and save it. I'll try and show it, but it's going to be hard because I'm going to have to move my camera around, and I hope that you'll be able to actually see what I mean by doing so. Now, obviously, my camera window with me in it is going to be in the way, so I'm going to have to move stuff around, so bear with me. This is one of those things that doing it on your own is not very simple to do without having someone else pre-recording it, setting it up, and it is better if I can try and do it live. So what I'm going to do is basically bring up my X360. So get it so that I can. Okay, I can do that there. Right, so first of all, you're going to want to go to your control panel, and where you've got your game controllers. Okay, I've got to make sure that you're actually seeing this correctly, because my YouTube screen is like 15 seconds behind. So I'm just trying to make sure that everything is there. Now you'll see your controller, and you want to go to properties. Now, basically you've probably already got it set up, you're using it, not a problem. But what you actually want to do is, in order to be able to use a Steam controller and be able to center a transducer, what you're in fact doing is you're forcing pressure on the transducer, which is then going to make Windows think that it's like a potentiometer that's set halfway, or it's like the thumbstick on a gamepad sitting in the center, because that is what you're trying to replicate. And it's for now it's going to be a hit and miss if you can get it right. I am working on doing it electronically, that everyone will actually receive a special component that you simply plug in, and you'll be able to actually adjust it, and you'll be set, ready to go, and it'll be electronical. You won't have to do this again. But for now, this is the only way I can do it. So, for now, basically, when I try and show you, you can look at my rear brake action and see it's very easy. And if I actually bring this up and show you the rear brake, it's only so much movement, and that's how it goes. Now, what I've got is a cam here, and when you loosen this Allen bolt, which is the 5mm, and turn this cam, once you get to a certain place, you can see it's pulling up the bar for that axis. Now, in Windows, you can't actually see it, so you're going to calibrate. When you calibrate your Windows, you only want to push it like that amount, very small amount. You really, when you're calibrating just a really small amount, that will allow you to be able to then spin that cam and set it up halfway, otherwise you'll have a solid pedal. So now you've seen how it's going to actually function. Now I hope you've understood that. But now open X360. Bring this here. Now, if I get it so that my camera is not in the way of the window, which is one thing I always do, and for previous videos I'm very sorry. Now what we want is our rear brake is going to be on the right stick axis Y. This one here where it says stick axis Y. So basically what you do is you click record, press your rear brake, becomes your rear axis. Now the problem is, if you look, if you're not on a black and white TV, you'll see where it says stick axis Y here, it's red. You want that to turn black. And that's because if you look at the little cross, it's at the bottom of the Y axis. You want to bring it to the middle. So to bring it to the middle, you're going to want to turn this cam until that red turns black. Now it's just gone green, but because I'm going to tighten it, when I tighten it, putting pressure against that screw and letting it turn back, and it will go black. Now, it's going to take a bit of playing around until you can get that, and then you're going to have a very sensitive brake, but you are using your foot. So, for now, that's the only way I can do it. But that is the basics of setting up, even for X360 or anything. That's how you set your rear brake. So basically you need to turn that cam. For those that don't have a drilled cam like mine, and the ones that are in Hs3, you can turn that cam by hand. It does work. It's just you've got to put a bit of pressure on the pedal. It's a bit of playing around. But I will be doing upgrades, like I said. It's just for now, you know, these software houses make software for gamepads only, and trying to get ways around that and use hydraulic brakes is very, very complicated. So I hope you've understood that first step, because that's only the first step. So once you've got everything set up like that, you can always save it. And it is one of those things where basically it's going to be very hard, and I've just moved my axis back, so I've got to re-center it. Ooh, like I said, it's a bit of a pain to actually center correctly. But once you've got it there, it's there. It may take you a couple of minutes to play around. Even I have to play around. So you get that done, and then if you use an X360, you'll be able to use that for your rear brake. It'll be centered, not a problem. This is obviously now where I'm using a Hs sensor for throttles as well. You can't center the throttle potentiometer. So it's all these different games that I'm having to do at the moment, and it's causing quite a problem. So now the next part is, how do you get it on Steam? Right, so you now need to open up your Steam. And sorry, there's no background music or anything like that, but it drives me crazy trying to do it. So now start your Steam up. If you haven't already, you'll need to sign up for the Steam beta. Now it takes a couple of seconds. So you go to the very top left where it says Steam, click on that, go to settings, and then you'll have here, it'll see beta participation. So where it says Steam beta update, click on the change that. I'm not going to do it because I already have. Change that, click yes, and you're ready to go. Restart, so basically what you'll do is you'll restart your Steam, or reboot it, start it up as the new Steam beta. Then what you'll have is, next to where you've got your name for Steam, so mine's Double Dragon CC, so next to your name there's going to be a big white box with two black arrows in it pointing to different angles of the screen. That is big picture mode. You have to go into big picture mode to set up your controller. If you don't do that, you won't get it done right. So now click on that, and you get pretty Steam thingy. Right, so we're here. Now go to the settings button, the cog, click that, and then you've got here. Do not worry about these for now. They can actually cause you big problems if you don't set them up right. Steam seems to think that everyone wants to control the whole of Steam with a gamepad. Drives me nuts. Anyhow, go to controller settings and you'll actually see whatever your one is called. Okay, so it can be Hs3H or Streetfighter, depends what it's actually written on your board, but you actually save it as whatever name you want. Click on that. Now you want to make sure you've got these two boxes here, Xbox configuration support and generic gamepad configuration support. Make sure those two are clicked. You've clicked on your controller, and then you want to do define layout. And what it will do basically is you'll click on one of these, and each one you click on, it will show you a little picture here of what button it is. You choose which ones you want to use. Now, I highly recommend that you basically set them up the same way I have, in order that your numbers might be different, because I have rewired the systems differently for Steam controller configuration, and I'll come to that in just a little bit. But basically what I do is, and I'll now put the camera by steering set so that you can see. Right, so basically going as we go down, and I'll do this slowly and you can pause it. So your primary action, otherwise your A, preferably I would use this button. I'm actually watching the YouTube and wait for it to catch up so that I know that no one's going to miss it. So just bear with me. As soon as it catches up, I'll carry on. That way, just to ensure, okay, your finger's in the right place. Right, so for your primary action, I use the left lower green. For your go back, I use the red lower left. Then your tertiary, so I'll show it like that. Tertiary, i.e. the Y, I use the top green. And then for the secondary, so X, I use the red. Then for your start, where you've got the slide button underneath the upper red one, you push it to the right for your start. For your back, you push it left. The guide button, I take one of the center ones. Now you'll probably have a red one because this is a special system. So you'll have a red button there. Then for the guide, you've got that. So left stick click. I generally tend to put this on the lower of these two. So go left for left stick click, right for right stick click. Now we come to basically what I use for the gear shift. These shoulders should be used for gear shift. So I'd end up, for left shoulder, I'd push the gear lever down for downshift. For the right shoulder, I'd push it up for upshift. If you kind of stick to this way of thinking, you'll find that throughout games, if you use the same procedure, you'll find it more automatic to use the handlebars. Now for your D-pad, this is where I'll go to basically here on the right side, so throttle side, the green top one, I use for D-pad up. The red one for D-pad down. Then I come to the two lower buttons, and obviously I use the black, so that the left one for D-pad left, the right one for D-pad right. Then we've got left stick X, which is obviously our steering, left and right. That's your handlebars. Don't have to touch the wiring on that, it's perfect. This is where it gets a problem. Left stick Y and right stick X. I don't have those programmed. You can use the clutch for left stick Y, but only if you center it. That I'll do in a later video, but for now you're not really worried. This is more, in fact, for Isle of Man TT, which is the only one I haven't been able to get Hs3 to work with. But for now, I recommend using one of the center buttons, and I use button 18 and 19 for my left stick Y and right stick X. Then for the right stick Y, that is the rear brake. So that's the one that I put the rear brake on. Your right stick Y, you want to have that for your rear brake. Then you've got left trigger, that's going to be your front brake, because that's what you normally do. And your right trigger is the throttle. These are standard way of which you basically use a gamepad anyhow. So I'm not going to save that, but you'd say, basically you'd save it and it'll come up, and then you can put a name in and you can upload it or say no and then save it. Mine's already done, so I don't have to worry about it, and then it'll be there. And then basically you go back, then you come to the power button and you have to leave Steam on. Steam must be on. You can minimize big picture. I prefer to exit big picture, stop using so much energy from the computer, and simply say that. So now I just minimize my Steam. Now basically the system is ready to use with any game that's running Steam. So yeah, camera problem because the sunlight's over there. I need a coffee, and then we'll start testing it in some games. So first off, I did note that some of the older systems, you will have to reverse your throttle on the Leo Bodner board, which means actually taking the handlebars and steering head off of the desktop frame and rewiring it. I will be making a separate video how to do that. But basically, I can show you quickly that, I don't know if you can see, on a Leo Bodner board, you have these pins here, and you have a connector that's connected one way. Well, on the third connector, you have to pull it out, turn it 180 degrees, and put it back in. To actually film that is going to be very difficult, but that is the basis of it. And that is for the throttle, which is the third wire down. I will be making a separate video. I have no idea how I'm going to be able to do that without getting my thumbs in the way, but I will be doing that soon. Okay, so basically now, hopefully you've set up your system so you've got it working with a Steam controller. Now you want to test it. This is where I come to the point and really have a go at all the software houses that seem to lock their view system to the right stick, which doesn't enable you to really do a lot. So when you start a game up with a real controller, it might lock you to looking to the left or looking to the right, and that is a major issue. Something I've got to work with. I am working on it, but unfortunately this is software houses. If they persist that everyone just owns a gamepad, it makes it very hard for people that have a real system. So I am working on everything. If it does happen, then contact me. I can tell you how to get around it with whatever game it is, but I'm definitely not going to go through and make a video for every single game right now. So first off, we're going to go in with some of the new games. We can start off with Dakar 18 and hope that it all works. I think I'm actually in somewhere along one stage, and Why I keep saying Steam VR when I start it, I don't know. But I think I've just left it for now. People really don't understand. I don't get a chance to ride in anything. I'm just testing it the whole time. So it's very awkward for me to really get to learn a game, or even how its steering is different from another one. So, well, go straight into this. I'll just continue where it'll just throw me in the middle of the desert, just so you can see it does actually work. I think that I am on automatic, and I couldn't be bothered to change it because I was leaning over my keyboard trying to actually ride to test it earlier on. But I think do I have to? Oh yeah, I've got to press A. Yeah, continue. So just do continue. But just so you can see that, like, it's automatically recognised. So basically, right now the game is from Steam. It's reading my controller as a Steam controller, and therefore it's automatically accepted. And yeah, I was just coming into this stage, so automatic's engaged. So look, Ma, no hands. Right, so we stopped. I hate automatic. I mean, really. And the camera's really at that angle. As soon as I put my hand down, it's like so I've just got it on automatic for now. But the one thing I have noticed, it's terrible. It's like you've got your go through your road map, and you can't actually see my hand because the sunlight is actually doing it. So it's really kind of like right on. Yes, of course it's a bit weird doing a off-road bike. What am I supposed to be on? 170? Oh no, 170 is over there. So I'm just going to basically stop anyhow and not worry about it. But you can see it's automatically accepted. I'm not worried about the car right now because it's actually pretty boring. And yeah, it's supposed to follow those tracks. Just want to show each game does actually get accepted. So we're just going to naff off out here. I really actually only kind of want to get to the Isle of Man, which has been the biggest one for me to do. So quick game, yes. But I just want to actually go through each game and show that it is automatically accepted. So plus also myself make sure that it's still working. So basically so far, I mean, that wasn't a milestone game, this is. So, and I have to say, the Unreal Engine is actually quite fantastic. I will eventually dump my, actually when I come out of this, I'm going to change my camera so it's a bit smaller and not so in the way. But the graphics in this are quite phenomenal, really. Well, I guess we're just at the compound, so I can't remember. I stuck one as a single player Grand Prix. Back, so it just throws you there. I thought somewhere it just threw you in. Oh, that's it. So I've got one of these. Yeah, is my view. So I've basically, because I'm just doing the demo, I cannot be bothered with the transmission until I get to the Isle of Man, actually. But they really have It's a very pretty game, isn't it? Oh, he says going into a rut. No, no. I'm not even thinking, I just want to... And I haven't set the rear brake up on this one yet, so I've still got to do that. It's just to say, literally, you see, I haven't even set the controls up in either of these games. It's just automatically recognised it as Steam controller. You may have to actually go in and set it up, I don't know. My system has been accepted pretty good, so... body movement or anything like that, what they actually use to control, so it's still going to have to be. Whoa, bloody hell, ouch! Okay, yeah, that definitely hurt. So, yeah, once again, okay, one of these does that. Then we go out to my menu. And it's basically, like I say, alright, I don't know what's going on there. So, right now, what I am going to in fact do is adjust my cam. No, I don't want to turn it off, I want to unlock it and move it over here. Make it smaller so it's kind of out the way. I still want to have the cam there. Right, so that was it's TT Island Man. Right, we need to check on what a GP18. So basically I'm going for all the ones that are on Steam, and like I say, I have no idea what the settings are for these. I might be wrong and something might not work. I'll soon find out. But for Ride 2 and so what we want quick mode, don't we? Just do quick mode, Grand Prix. Just load, I've no idea where the hell I was, what I was doing. Oh, did it crash? It looks like the game just crashed. Okay, not good. So, don't know why that happened. So I'm not going to waste time. I used it earlier on, but that happens sometimes with some games. I'm not going to worry about it now. Like I say, my computer is absolutely in turmoil. A lot of stuttering, a lot of lag. Had a Windows update and my internet cut out part way through, which has caused me nothing but problems. So something happens like that. Right, it's flashing on my OBS, but not on the stream. So I'm hoping it will come up in a second. Please come up on the stream. I'm sitting here. Yep, okay, it looks like it's gonna load. That's the thing with these YouTubes, where they're like 15 seconds behind. It takes you that amount of time to realise, oh my god, it's not working. What am I going to do? Right, in the meantime, I am going to be back in a sec. So I'm back. Mother Nature and coffee called. So I think. Oh, what did I do? No, I want to go back. Quick modes, quick race. Now I got a feeling while I was doing tests. Come on. Stop pressing the wrong buttons. Because I was leaning over my... Oh no, transmission is manual. Okay. We can go back. Right. No, we don't want... You want to change track. You want to do something so long. Do my normal. Always better to have something that you're used to, because I really don't have a chance to ride. I really miss it. Everyone else gets a chance to play the games and have fun, but I'm so busy with development and needing to move and everything else. It's just been a nightmare. I finally want to get to learn the Isle of Man TT. I don't think I've done a whole circuit yet. I think I did one, but that was really bad and hated it. But this is just something to see. Okay, we've got transmission. Oh, you bugger, I clipped his front wheel. Yeah. Typical. Doing a demo, I hardly ever clip a rear wheel. I do love actually having a foot shift. Of course, now I'm last and all that looks terrible, but I'm really not worried. I actually don't remember when I last slept. I felt him on my arse. When they hit on the rear wheel, that's one thing I hate about Rye. The AI is terrible. gravel, not the gravel. On the inside, on the inside. Oh, I did it again, right on his tyre. No. 2 times I hit him on the rear tyre. What a dick. Doesn't matter, I still thoroughly enjoy the ride. I cannot wait for ride 3. Isn't this the guy that had me off last time? I don't know how the sound is on YouTube. I hope it's alright. I actually ended up not even being able to use my cam or microphone for like a week until I found out that Windows Update had decided they were going to change your if you allowed programs to use your mic and that. And I'm like, really? They can choose your rules and regulations on what hardware is allowed to work? Kind of disgusting. But then that's Microsoft all over. They take limitations. It says forget the change gear and oh well, that was a terrible race, but there you go. It is not easy when you I can't remember the last time I really rode in this. But anyhow, yeah, right, so now I really just want to get into TT Isle of Man, which is going to be terrible in many ways, because I think I've done 8 hours, of which I've done 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. So never really used it, and I so want to. So I'm gonna come out of here. Now I don't know why Mono GP18 crashed. I have just changed over my hard drives, so it might be to do with that. We will see, but let us just get straight into TT Isle of Man. Now, this has been the big one for me. I did actually get X360 working on it for a colleague's computer, but I couldn't get it on mine. And then Oliver from France said, could you make it as a Steam controller?
Siren of the Irish Sea.
Of which we now have,
for the fears
and it works. So it's not perfect because for some reason Kineton have made it that the rear brake is digital, i.e. on or off button. So if you want to just do TT Isle of Man, you don't even need to use the rear brake configuration. You can totally forget about it and just set up the Steam controller and use button 14 for the Y-axis. Right, so I'm not going to do a major track. I really don't know any of the bloody tracks on here. I mean, we could do a little bit of the Isle of Man, but noontime. But I'm definitely Yeah, why can't I keep my triumph? It's why can't you do a mass start? I mean, oh, by the way, in TT Isle of Man, to select your bike, you use the front brake to go one way and the throttle to go the other, which is actually quite good. So you really don't have to take your hands off your control tool. Okay, that's the one we want. Set that. Right, so swig of coffee. No, unlike most that have had this game and they've ridden it since it's been out, I haven't had a chance. So I said I've done one lap. I'm actually gonna. Oh, I didn't put it into. I'm gonna pull over because what I do need to do is go to options, gameplay, riding style, bike, and bloody well change it from manual, from automatic to a manual transmission. Yes. Let me go back, and as you can see, I can navigate with my hands on the bars. So now we've got manual transmission. Now, like I said, I'm actually going to wait for someone to come up and pass me, and I am expecting this to stutter quite a bit because this morning it didn't. Then just before I did the test this afternoon, it started stuttering again, which you'll probably see at several points. And I really don't want to like crash too much because it just looks really bad. Basically just want to show that, see there, bloody stutter. Now, it is a bit sloppy on the steering, I have to admit that, and that is because it's been designed, you see there's another bloody stutter, and it's literally a killer when you're coming into a corner and it stutters and throws you against the wall. But at least it's giving you a brief show of the fact, yeah, it's working. Now I do not have the rear brake working, obviously, and I do not know the circuit. I'm not looking at the little map on the side. I was hoping that someone would come and pass me, but so I can just follow them for a bit, but I don't know, the amount this is stuttering at the moment. You can see it stuttering. It is really getting to me. I just hope YouTube isn't even worse. But it really does feel good. I don't understand why I've got the stutters back. It was working perfectly this morning. It's so annoying. I really don't want to throw myself against the wall because of a stutter. And you do notice the difference between having a manual transmission and a automatic, and then having it so you're using your feet. Stutters the whole bloody time. It's killing me. Can't someone come and catch me up? Like I say, it does feel a bit swimmy. You have to get used to it, but I am used to GP bikes where the steering really is spot on. You can adjust so much. That stuttering is really killing me. Come on. Goodness knows what it's going to be like on YouTube if it's stuttering here. But so I don't know the bloody track. look like, oh, bloody going so slow. I don't keep it down. I don't know the track. I don't want to look too much of a dick. Especially with that bloody stutter. Is this left or right? It's left, isn't it? So I'm like blind as a bat when it really comes to the computer games. I mean, I've got stutters and I can't see where I'm going. Help me, Mr. Mannering. I really wish I had a rear brake. A rear brake would be so much better. Oh no, I'm gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt me. Right. Where's there another rider? The other one in front, so if I wait for this one to catch me up. I got the idea that so you can come in and I think I had to set up the gear shift was the only thing that you need to set up in most games, possibly the rear brake. And if it stutters like that, you're just going to crash. Right. Well, for me, I really stuttering's kind of like bugging me. So I think that should show you the basics. End of the day, it's still a work in progress. I am planning on making an adapter that will then electronically change how the rear brake is, so you don't have to do it, because you will have to keep resetting it quite often because it is hydraulic, it will back down. So just remember that. Best thing is when you start your computer, just check, make sure, yeah, is it centered, and then you should be good. But otherwise, that's all I can do for now. I hope that I do actually get it to function without having to do adjustments eventually. But that's down to software houses actually making things happen. So anyhow, I hope that's helped a few of you out, and I hope to be getting more videos out soon as I fix my damn computer so it doesn't stutter. It's killing me. So anyhow, thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, please just leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So thank you and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.